G'day and welcome to another video. In today's lesson we're going to learn how to make a pair of slippers. This is going to be a series of videos as there are 6 different sizes and I've broken them up into 6 different tutorials. All the links will be below in the description box for the different sizes. This video will be for a newborn size. All sizes also have a free written pattern. You can find the link to my website and the pattern in the description box below the video. As you can see from this photo, there are different widths. A slipper is very easy to adjust the length, so as long as you have the width right, you can make the length the size that you desire. In today's video, we'll be using Red Heart Super Saver in the colour Pretty in Pink. And the newborn size only takes 0.4 of an ounce or 12 grams of yarn, so you won't need very much yarn at all. If you are using sports weight, 8 ply or double knit yarn, I suggest that you use the next size up in the videos. So let's get started on the lesson. For our supplies we need a yarn needle with a large eye to make it easier for sewing, a pair of scissors. These scissors are now available on my website. I will put the link below so you can go grab yours. We need a crochet hook to go with our yarn, but what we need is one that is smaller than what is recommended. We want firm tension. We don't want really tight, but we want it to be firm because the slippers are going to stretch a little and we don't want them to stretch too much, otherwise they will become sloppy. So normally it would recommend a 5.5, but this crochet hook is 2 sizes smaller than a 5.5. This is around about a G size in the US. I don't think you actually have a 4.5. I think yours is a 4.25. So this is around a G, because that is 2 sizes smaller than the I, which is a 5.5. We're going to be using medium worsted weight yarn. I'm using the Pretty in Pink. So what we need to do is make a magic ring. There are plenty of different ways to make magic ring. You just make yours the way that you feel comfortable. This is how I make mine. I wrap my yarn around my fingers and I just grab hold of those 2 pieces of yarn. I go into my center, pull through, and then we make our chain 3 for our first stitch. We make 2 double crochets into the center of the ring. Chain 1. Our chain 3 counts as our first stitch, and then we've got 2 double crochets. Just make that a little bit smaller. What we want to do now is work 3 double crochets into the center. Chain 1. 3, oh, my yarn split there. 3 double crochets into the center. Chain 1. 3 more double crochets into the center. Chain 1. And altogether we need 5 sets of the 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we want to work 1 more. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got our chain 1, and we're going to join to the top of the beginning chain 3. We can pull that tight. What we need to do now is slip stitch across until we enter the chain 1 space. So it's the next 2 double crochets, slip stitch in the top, and also into the chain 1 space, which is here. we will be chaining up 3, working 2 double crochets into the chain 1 space, and into each chain 1 space around, so into there and so on, we're going to be working 3 double crochets. And we don't do any more chain 1s in between for the rest of this project. It was just into the beginning row. If you make, sorry, I've just done a chain 1. There's no chain 1, just said that. If you make these and they are too small, and you only want them slightly bigger, you could add a chain 1 in between, and that will make your slippers slightly bigger than a newborn. So we need to do 3 into the next one. Another way would also be to use a larger hook, and that will give you a slightly bigger pair of slippers. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots of 3 on that round, and then we're going to join to the beginning chain 3. With a slip stitch. There we go. So we've already got the beginning of our slipper. Want to work one more row. Sorry, one more round I should say. So we're going to slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. Into the next one as well. Into that space we're going to slip stitch as well and work our chain 3. Oops, sorry, the camera, hang on. It's better. 2 double crochets into that same space. And into each space around we're going to be working 3 double crochets. And then when we get to the end we're going to join to the top of the chain 3 with a slip stitch. Come on, there we go. So we've got the beginning of our little slipper. Oh, it's looking so cute already. We've got a little hat for a really small doll. So now we want to work on the side section. I'm calling it the side section, but it's sort of the back of the foot, isn't it? So there we go. We're going to work on that. So what we need to do, again, we're going to slip stitch across. I'm just going to put that tail in there, and hopefully that stays out of my way until we get to sew it in. So slip stitching across. And also into the space, chain up 3, double crochet into the same space, and again. So we've got chain 3 and 2 double crochets into the next space. We're going to be working 3 double crochets. So in each space around we work 3 double crochets, but we don't work into the last space. Okay, so coming around, you've got, that's where we join here, and here, that bit, that's the tail, get in there. Here is our last space, and here. So we're going to join there. We would join there normally, but we've got this. So what we need to do now is not work into that last chain space, and now we're just going to chain up 3. We're actually going to turn our work around, and we're going to work 3 double crochets into that space here. And into the next one, 3 double crochets. And then the next one. And when we get to the end of this row, we want to imitate what we did at the beginning over here. See how there's just 1 stitch by itself here? We want to imitate that on the end. So what we do is double crochet into the last stitch. So going into the last stitch here. So that's what it's looking like so far. We want to chain up 3, turn your work around, so we're working back across, but now we have this hole. So what we want to do is double crochet into that space. And again, because we want to have our group of 3, so the chain of 3 counts as the first stitch, and then 1, 2. Makes 3. So working in each space across, we're going to work 3 double crochets. And then when we get to the end, because we want to imitate what we did at the beginning, so we've got 3 stitches into that space, we want to work 3 stitches into that one as well. So going into here, work 3 double crochets. So we needed 3 rows in total, so that's 1, 2 and 3, and that's the end of the slipper. So what we need to do now is, you could change colour if you wanted to make a little, because if you look at this one, we work a little row of single crochet around the outside just to neaten it off, so you could change colour there if you like, but I'm not going to. What we need to do is chain 1, and we're going to be working around this edge, up over the instep, and then around the other side. Oops. So single crochet, there's not really like normal stitches to work into, so it's sort of like, I'm going to just work 1 into that space, and then here you're able to actually go under these 2 loops like a normal stitch, so that's where we're going to work a single crochet again into the space. Now here there's a stitch that we can go into, and again under the 2 loops here, working across the instep, there's actually stitches to go into, so we can single crochet into those. And here is where we did our slip stitches over to the chain 1 space, so these will be a little bit harder maybe to go into, because you're going to be going underneath the slip stitch. Not hard, just not as easy as normal. What's that? That's 1, 2. Working into that one. And then again we're working down this side, but we don't really have stitches to go into. So we're just sort of finding our way across. Here we can work under the 2 stitches. Hang on, I think my yarn just split then. Yes, it did. Try that again. There we go. So we can go under 2 stitches, 2 loops, and then work our way across. And also into that last stitch there, we want to work there. And now what we want to do is slip stitch. So we've got the back opening here. We're going to slip stitch into the first stitch that's there. So getting under there and working a slip stitch, making sure it's tight. And now we want to cut off yarn, but we need enough so that we can sew up that back seam. So I'm going to cut off, what's that? It's about 15 centimetres, which 15 centimetres is about 6 inches. So you can see I've got a big tail there. And I'm actually just going to pull that straight out. I'm going to turn my slipper inside out. Then we are going to stitch up our seam, and I'm going under both loops here and both loops at the back. And on that last stitch, I'm going to go through that loop with my needle and pull tight. Excuse me. And then we are going to sew in our ends. Where can we sew them in? And I am going to go across, and then I'm going to come back across as well. Just make sure it hasn't pulled that seam. You don't want it to squish up like that. So cutting off this. And then we want to pull this tight. And then we're going to sew in these ends as well. There we go. Cut off that. And if you save these little ends, you can actually use them for toy stuffing. Like I've got a couple there. You can save them for toy stuffing too, if you make toys. So turning it back into the right way. All you need to do now is make another one, just like the other one. And then you have 2 little cute slippers. Aren't they adorable? Just making sure they are the right size. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Please subscribe as there'll be plenty more videos to come. I upload once a week with new tutorials. Please share your creations on our Facebook page as we love to see everybody's work. For more free patterns, check out my website. I will put the links below. This pattern does have a this video does have a pattern to go along with it, so I will put the links below as well. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy crochet!